Hey, welcome back to another Zoom interview here with VanportBowlingNews.com. I'm Jim Ferretti, and with me today is Chris. He is a well-known figure in the bowling community, so really no reason to introduce him too much. But he's also known for his coaching expertise, his professional accomplishments. Right now, he's a USBC silver level coach. And correct me if I'm wrong, back in 2016, you were listed as one of the top 100 coaches, correct? By Bowler's Journal?
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually very fortunate to be on that list in the Bowler's Journal.
Nice. Oh, we're gonna kind of break some news today because this is actually really exciting. I was never part of this group. I was never good enough as a kid, as a junior bowler, to be part of this group. My wife was, but I was not. You are going to be next year taking over the youth program at Mount Hood Lanes, out in Gresham.
Correct.
But you're starting something up or restarting something up. Go ahead and tell me what that's all about.
Yeah, we're going to bring back the art quiz, something that my coach back in the day, Mick McMahon, started up, and I was fortunate enough to bowl in. And it's something that meant a lot to me, and it's really kind of paved the way for a lot of the bowlers you see now. And I want to bring that back and bring back that competition, but kind of just in honor of him too, to bring back that legacy that he created and move that forward and give the kids something to bowl.
Yeah, when you and I were growing up in the bowling industry here, because we're the same age, that was the thing to do. If you were an R kid, you were among the elite.
Absolutely, yeah. The best of the best was there every Saturday morning, and it was a competition. You bowled 4 games, and you wanted to make sure you showed up that day and brought your A game because everybody else was going to do it.
How do you go about restarting something like that? Because obviously, we had great competition back in the 90s and early 2000s, and I think some of that competition has kind of faded away a little bit.
Yeah, I think the numbers will be there. If you look at the high school bowling, how big the high school bowling's getting, and then to be honest with you, there's so many volunteer coaches out there. I feel like the sports on a uphill climb, and I feel like the competition. I feel like the athletes are just going to get better and better, and with the knowledge from the coaches, and just being able to bowl. The more you bowl, the better you're going to get, and bowl these tournaments, these high school tournaments. Like when I was around, I don't believe there was a high school bowling at all.
No, no. I think about that each time I go out and coach a high school team. I'm like, man, where was this when I was a kid?
Yeah, it's amazing. I went and watched that last one at Oregon Trail Lanes and just two squads of full bowlers and the enthusiasm's there. They're having fun. So if you give me an athlete that wants to learn, they can learn to bowl.
Why did you make the decision to look at Mount Hood Lanes to do this?
Javier approached me with it and he presented the opportunity to me and we talked about it and they have a good bowling base out there already and JP is really big into coaching and the junior program and so it just seemed like the right fit to
Now,
begin something out there.
do you feel you're going to have to recruit some new coaches or more coaches?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, the more the merrier. I mean, I'm a firm believer you can never have too many coaches because the more everybody sees things differently, people help each other differently. Some kids work better with certain coaches. That's just the way it goes. I've had numerous coaches throughout my bowling career, and the more I had, the more I learned from different people.
What is your coaching philosophy when you get a new bowler or maybe a younger bowler? How do you make them help them progress?
When you first watch them, you first watch a bowler. Coach Mick always told me, you see the potential that's there. You can see what their body movements are. You watch how they throw a shot, and you can see it in your mind. Like, wait a second, a little bit of work here in this area, a little bit of work there. We might have something there with that athlete. So the potential is what you look at, and everybody can bowl. I don't. Doesn't matter how you get to the foul line. I don't care. It's as long as you can roll the bowling ball.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, here's the question as a coach myself and someone who works with youth, these days we get a lot of, well, that doesn't work for me. I can't do that. How do you move past that?
You just gotta use that coaching Jedi mind trick and convince them that can't never did anything, right? So if you say you can't, you've already set yourself up for failure. So I always kind of mess with my athletes when a bowler for some reason when they throw a shot, they want to come back and tell you everything that's wrong with the shot. So I'll reverse it to them and I'll say, hey, why don't you tell me one thing that was good about that shot? Find something good instead of it's always want to lean towards more the negative of every shot that we seem to throw. And they're not all that bad sometimes, Sometimes the good ones don't even strike and sometimes the bad ones they carry the most. It's hard to say.
Now, Chris, you don't work just with kids. You do a lot of coaching with adults as well. Is there a difference between working with a child or working with a youth bowler than there is working with an adult?
It just depends on the older bowlers are more established in their game. The younger kids are still more developing, so you can kind of fine tune it. The old muscle, some old bowlers develop that muscle memory, and you kind of got to work through that. But no, it's just athletes. They're just bowlers.
When it comes to the Our Kids League that's coming up here, this is going to be next season, so the 2025 season. When do you
Correct.
start working on that? When do you start trying to build that program?
I'm going to sit down with Javier, and we're going to start piecing together the formula that we want to do, and start working that. And just another thing added to my plate. I got the OSU gig that I'm doing, and starting that up too. So a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah, you brought me to that point. The new head coach of the Oregon State University Beavers bowling team. That
Correct.
came out of nowhere, did it not?
It came out of way nowhere. Yeah, I've been trying to find a college gig. I got offered a job somewhere else, but I didn't want to relocate. So this is where my home is. So it was a tough decision because it's been my goal to coach college, and so when this opportunity popped up, I was really really excited about it.
It is pretty awesome that both the OSU and University of Washington, started teams basically at the same time. I
Yeah.
was actually just talking to a kid the other day from the University of Oregon. I said, "Hey, you got to get something going down there," and all I heard was, "Well, find us a coach." I'm like, "Well, that's hard to do, but not hard to do it sometimes, but it can be hard to do. But you got to get the bowlers too." So tell me about your trips down to OSU so far as they get prepared to bowl their next tournament.
We're gearing up. I got 15 great kids that are really gung ho about bowling. Five girls, 10 guys. So we'll have a girls team too. Brunswick's on board, so we got some sponsorship with them. Got my
Great.
Dexter the Dexter sales rep in this area, so we got Dexter that's going to help us out, and so just yeah, a lot of good things coming from that.
That's great to hear. And then you mentioned your plate, it's pretty busy, so you're adding one more thing. Right now, you are a USBC silver level coach, which
Yeah.
is pretty high. It's higher than a lot of people, but you'd like to become the 27th gold coach, correct?
Yeah, I mean that's the goal. I've been working on it for a while. It's like getting a PhD. I've have a couple of mentors that I've been working with that are gold members, gold coaches already, and it's just a process. And it's that I've they tell me horror stories. You go down there and take that test the first time, and they usually fail you. It's a tough thing to get, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge when I was out ball repping on tour with the out there and stuff, and I enjoyed that. And then I just love coaching, so I just want to take it to the next level and see what I can do to help the sport.
What is it about coaching that you love?
The challenge of getting the potential out of every athlete, because every athlete kind of thinks they plateau, but there's always just a little bit more in there you can go get out of them.
That's great to hear. That's great to hear. Okay, so if people want to get involved with the R Kids next year, or if they want to get some new shoes from you for Dexter, how do they contact you? What do they do?
I'll just throw out my cell phone number right now. It's 503-438-5554. Reach out anytime. I stay busy during lessons during the week. I usually do about 20 lessons during the week at different locations and stuff throughout the Portland area, and stay extremely busy doing that. But yeah, just reach out. I'm always a phone call away from anything.
I'm really excited to see what comes with the R Kids next year and see how that works out, and maybe you can rebuild this program back to what it used to be.
Yeah, that's the goal. And then like it's like I said, it's in honor of Coach Mick, and then that guy meant everything to me. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now if it wasn't for him and the kind of direction he kind of what instilled in me, and just that he was just a big influence in my life, and I just kind of want to do this for him.
Well, before I let you go, have you spoke to Coach Mick about this?
Absolutely. I called him and asked him if I get permission to use the name. First thing I did,
Yeah,
and he said he gave me the full endorsement and stuff like that. So I was excited that he did that, and I just yeah, no, I'm excited about doing that.
that's great to hear. I think good things are ahead for you, the R Kids, and I wish you well becoming a gold level coach.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That is Chris Burnett, currently a silver level coach and soon to be the head coach of the R Kids out at Mount Hood Lanes next season. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. We'll talk to you soon.